And first tonight, the desperate race to try and save lives from the rubble of the earthquake in Turkey and in Syria. Charities in the East Midlands have joined the international disaster response. But some homeless survivors are telling their families over here that help, well, it still hasn't arrived. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
A young girl rescued from the rubble, one ray of hope in the face of so much tragedy. The earthquake's already known to have claimed more than 11,000 lives, with many more now desperate for the basic essentials of life. Ilhan's desperately worried. He runs this Turkish restaurant 2,500 miles away in Beeston, but his family's starving and homeless in a town cut off by deep snow.
By telling us we need food, we need help. They live in tents, they live in cars, you know, even no petrol as well.
Because of the roads as well, they can't go to villages and stay there. So right now, because we can't contact them, we can't support them either. So we are very worried about them.
And in the window of their restaurant, the name of their hometown, Elbistan, almost gone, but not forgotten. And the really big question now for so many people here is, what can we do to help communities that still haven't been reached by a vast international response? And over the border in Syria, it's even more challenging. There, they're also facing sanctions and civil war.
This is a video we've just received.
That's where Shakil's Derby-based charities Saving Lives. Muslims in need already had dozens of Syrian volunteers in the earthquake zone. Here, one of them uses a bottle top to get water to a child they're trying to rescue. They're also setting up soup kitchens and temporary shelters.
And like we had an ethical obligation to help the people of Ukraine, we now have a humanitarian obligation to help the people of Syria. Previously, if a missile hit a building, it was one building. Here we're talking whole towns and cities completely flattened. Look, people don't want to look at pictures of children being pulled out of the rubble. They're still crying in pain and they can't get out because they haven't got the machinery. But we can do something. Every penny, every pound that we gather is sent to those people on the ground, not only to keep them alive, but hopefully to rescue them. But time is of great importance.
Their earthquake appeals already raised over £100,000.
No, you're welcome.
And as we're filming here in Normanton, Vizia pops in with sackfuls of donations.
You're welcome. So I watched the news and it nearly brought me to tears seeing what was happening in Turkey. And I just wanted to put my arms around them, really. But my first thought was, what have I got that I can do to help? And I phoned my sister as well, and she had some blankets, and I had some sleeping bags. And I thought, hello, grandchildren had nappies, and I've got some left over still. That's a good purpose, so I've brought them down this today.
It might be a drop in the ocean in the midst of so much destruction, but it can make a difference. And it's a message that people care.
Jeremy's here in the studio. I mean, yes, people do care, but, you know, what can we do from here, so far away, to actually make a difference?
Well, and the big thing is, hot off the presses, really. Just in the last hour or so, this has gone online, a new national appeal from the Disasters Emergency Committee. And this involves 15 of the UK's largest aid charities. So we're talking Oxfam, Save the Children, CAFOD, Islamic Relief, charities like that. And they're getting everything from medical treatment and shelter to heating and clean water to where it's needed most. And they've got this huge infrastructure, so they really can focus the aid on where it's needed.
I presume that's sort of money and donations. How useful are other things that we can offer?
Well, I mean, those types of donations, they will be helpful in the long run. And in fact, that charity in Derby says it's looking at getting a container in the long run to send out things like food parcels and blankets and clothes. What they also say, though, is that that is not the priority now, because there simply isn't the infrastructure to send it at the moment. And of course, it's much more efficient and quicker to buy the stuff they need near the earthquake zone. So the really big appeal now is hard cash.